So you're pulling 9, 13, 4?
I don't know about 9, but if you want. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Public Works Committee meeting for Tuesday, August 29th, 2017. First order of business is roll call and determination of quorum. Brenda, when you're ready.
Drew. Solomon.
Yes.
Modrick. Here. Roberts. Here. Nordstrom. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Now is the time for general public comment, a time for members of the public to discuss or express concerns to the committee on any issues not limited to items on the agenda. Action will not be taken at the meeting on any issue not on the agenda except by placement on the agenda by unanimous vote of the aldermen present, and I have no speaker requests. So now I'm closing public comment. We go on to consent items, items 1 through 13. Public comment is open on items 1 through 13. Once again, I have no speaker requests. Public comment is now closed. So now we'll move on to the consent calendar for the members present to see if there's anything they would like pulled off the agenda for separate consideration. Okay. Jason Solomon.
Thank you, Ms. Chair. I would like to pull item 13, please.
Okay, item 13. Lisa Modrick.
Item 4.
Thank you. Do I hear
Go ahead and pull it.
9? Okay. And the chair polls item 9.
Move to approve the rest of the consent. Second.
Moved by Roberts to approve the consent calendar with the exception of 4, 9, and 13, seconded by Jason Solomon. All in favor?
Aye.
The agenda is approved. So now we'll move on to item number 4. Out of the Dust Project, number 17-2392, CIP number 50297, estimated cost $100,000. Have no comments on that. Chair recognizes Lisa Modrick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On item 4, I just wanted to bring it out so that we can restate for the public that has asked for dust control, especially along alleys and places where it creates a tremendous amount of dust and debris along those areas, that it's nice to see that this is on the docket for some alley repair. And it affects residents as well as businesses, and a lot of trucks and delivery vehicles use those alleys. And in any kind of weather condition, it can create ruts and all kinds of problems. So it's a ticket item that I'm glad that we are seeing as a dust control project, and it's called Annual Out of the Dust Project. And with that asphalt on alleys and streets, I think that is super. I think the only question I have, maybe if I could ask Dale.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Dale, on this project, how does an alley get on the project list?
A number of years ago, there was a policy passed by the city council that city staff sets the priority based on maintenance needs because this became, quite frankly, way too political. So our street department, in conjunction with our city engineering office, looks at alleys where we have trouble. The alley may be steep, the gravel washes every time, it's a lot of maintenance. Those are the alleys that have taken priority to be repaired. And then with our amount of annual funding, obviously it'll take us many, many, many years to get through all the alleys in the city, but certainly the ones that are the highest priority are getting done first.
If there are alleys that are in neighborhoods or commercial areas that would like to be a part of the project, is that an opportunity to go out for matches or anything that could give assistance to those businesses or residents?
The history of the Out of the Dust was it used to be a participating program. The adjoining property owners used to petition, and they, I believe, paid 40% of the cost. Well, I'd say nearly a decade ago, no one was doing it anymore. People didn't want to pay for that or couldn't pay for it one way or the other. So that's when the policy was adopted that we would continue to pave alleys based on maintenance priorities.
Maybe it might be time to re-review that. I hear a lot of residents and businesses saying, boy, I wish I could get my alley on the plan, but sometimes it takes participation by public and private to get that to happen. But thank you for that explanation.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Dale.
Chair recognizes Richie Nordstrom.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to make a note and maybe a comment and a question, is that the folks along St. Charles have been asking for alley improvements for a number of years. I'm going to say roughly 3 to 4 years, so it doesn't happen overnight when that takes place. And that's because of the limited amount of funding. But another comment is, if we do get the alleys put in as paved streets now, or paved alleys now, just a word of caution is that brings up an issue for additional maintenance, because we got to go back in and start doing additional upkeep and rehab and everything for the new paved streets. So question for Dale Tech would be that to clarify, does this go onto the CIP list then once they become a paved alley?
No, they don't. The initial funding for Out of the Dust comes out of the CIP. So once they're paved, the city quite literally is going to walk away from them for quite a long time. We do have a number of old paved alleys that are in pretty rough shape. It's not our intent to go back in there and repair those. We'd rather spend that money on streets that provide primary access to our residents or our commercial businesses and focus our CIP dollars on those street repairs other than an alley that provides a secondary access.
Thank you. Appreciate the clarification. That's all I have. I'll yield.
Still looking for a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Modrick, second by Solomon. The chair would like to ask a question, please, of Mr. Dale Tech. Dale, is this also a measure for drainage issues too? Is that what I kind of understood from what you said?
Yes, typically on steep alleys, the water runs right down the alley and carries the gravel or whatever the surfacing is out to the nearest receiving area. So our street department, every time we get heavy rains, dispatches to various parts of town, cleans that material up, regrades the alleys, tries to keep them in as best shape as they can. By paving these alleys, we typically put what's called an inverted crown, so the water will run right down the middle of the alley and then typically out to a street and into our drainage system. So it does fix some drainage concerns. I will also caution other people out there that it also increases runoff, because the more impervious area that you're out there, the more water is going to run off. So that's one of the cons, I guess, if you will, to paving every surface that we have in the city.
Thank you for that answer. And the motion on the floor is to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and we're on to item number 9. Acknowledge updated advertising authority for West Chicago Street Utilities Reconstruction Project number 12-2022/CIP number 50448 PCNX02Q, being bid in construction in conjunction with the South Dakota Department of Transportation project P0231, parentheses 1280 PCN 02R5. Wow, lots of numbers and letters there.
Move to approve.
Richie Nordstrom moves to approve.
Second.
Or acknowledge.
And a second by Modrick. I pulled this item because I wanted to get a little bit of information on how we work with the South Dakota Department of Transportation on a project like this and its utilities. So why are they involved? I'm not sure who to direct my question to. I guess it'd be Dale Tech. So can you give me a little background on why this takes so much coordination?
Most certainly. As most of you are aware of, we have a lot of state routes that run through the city of Rapid City: Mount Rushmore Road, Jackson Boulevard, Omaha Street, Deadwood Avenue. The city of Rapid City has utilities that typically run under those roadways. So when there's a project to reconstruct one of those corridors, we, the city, as well as the Department of Transportation, have found that it is much more efficient to have the same contractor doing the street work, doing the utility work. So you don't have two different contractors fighting each other, if you will, for schedule, for coordination purposes. So on all state projects within the city, if there's a city utility component, we're responsible for getting a set of plans prepared that will be bid through the State Department of Transportation. They're a separate set of plans, but they're bid by the state, and we concur when they open the bids. We concur on who the low bidder is to do both the street work and the utility work. So that's the reason that this item is in front of you, is asking for advertising authority to do the utility portion of this West Chicago Street project.
Okay, that sounds pretty complex. Is that why some of our projects aren't done quite as quickly as we'd like them to be? I mean, coordinating with the state has got to take some time.
It does. The preparation of the plans, it's a huge coordination. The phasing of the project, I mean, to do design work just for a street's pretty simple, but then you have to figure out how you're actually going to build it, how all the pieces of the puzzle fit together. So there's plenty of time spent up front developing these plans, specifications, phasing plans to get a good project that can be get a good price when it goes to advertisement, as well as get constructed as quickly as possible to reduce the impacts to the traveling public.
Thank you, Dale. Chair recognizes Richie Nordstrom.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dale, if you could just do a refresher for me, a reminder, has to do with, we've got some ongoing projects currently in the pipeline or in the system that's going on, correct? Currently?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And then again, another reminder for me is the West Chicago project, is that in separate phases, or they're going to try to do it in all one phase?
I'm not familiar with the phasing plan of it. It'll be, the Department of Transportation always has multiple phases, but if you're saying is it a one-year project or a two-year project, I don't know. So they have to build part of it and then get traffic on the new and then do the stuff. It's very similar to Mount Rushmore Road with what they're doing there. They construct either the northbound or southbound lanes and then switch traffic over to allow. So that's the phasing. West Chicago, I'm going to anticipate that's a lot of pavement to go all the way from Sturgis Road down to Sheffer Street. That may be a season and a half duration project.
But my intent was to, and I thank you, Dale, for that. My intent was to make sure the public is aware that there is going to be some ongoing construction up there for a period of time. So just to be aware that, and I apologize, I can't remember what the STIP program said on it, but I did get to see it. So that's why I was asking for the refresher. But it will be a project that will be going on for some time. So just be advised.
Okay, the motion is to acknowledge the updated advertising authority for West Chicago Street Utilities reconstruction. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? And we have acknowledged the advertising authority. Moving on to item 13. Authorize staff to purchase one jointed cantilever hip skyway shade structure from Dakota Playground, and this is in parentheses again, NJPA award contract number 030117-LSI in the amount of $38,500, which includes the necessary materials, labor, and equipment to install the shade structure at the Sioux Park Tennis Complex. And the chair recognizes Jason Solomon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I move to approve, if I can get a second.
Solomon moves to approve, and Nordstrom seconds.
And if I could ask a question to our Parks and Recs Director, Jeff Biegler.
That would
see us
be,
here?
that would be fine.
Thank you. Hey, Jeff.
Hi.
So, a couple of questions on this. This was, from what I understand, a vision project that we approved last year, and we now finally have real dollars to it. And does this amount here, 38,500, pay for the entire amount?
It does, yes. That's the purchase of the piece of equipment and the installation, so it's the entire cost.
Okay. And how long do you think it'll take to construct this?
Well, typically, these are, there's about a 4 to 6 week construction period for the apparatus itself. And so I would imagine probably 2 months or so. So it'll be after the tennis season that this can go in, but it can still go in yet this fall.
And so just so everybody is clear, this provides shade to the spectators.
Correct.
And obviously, the Skin Institute here in town has been a big driver behind this in order to.
They have, yes. Last year, they generously donated for shade structures out of the Parkview Tennis Complex. And so they wanted to then do something similar at the Sioux Park Complex. So that was the target of their Vision Fund application this year.
I think it's wonderful. Great project. I really appreciate them for stepping up in Parkview and also just being the driving force behind this. Thank you to your staff for working with them on this to get this done. And that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item 13 has been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The item passes. Now we're on to the non-consent items. Item 14, I have no public comment on that. So public comment is closed. And we have this item from the Public Works Department. Item 14 is the appeal of denied exception request from Crispo Hospitality LLC to waive the requirement to provide a traffic impact study per city IDCM Section 2.717 traffic studies for proposed True Hampton Inn and Suites Hotel located on Tract A, Rushmore Center Division. And the chair recognizes Jason Solomon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to continue this item to the next Public Works meeting on September 12th per the request of the appealer. If I can get a second.
Solomon moves to move this to the next Public Works meeting, second by Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Okay, a motion by Nordstrom and a second by Roberts to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, this meeting is closed. Thank you.